Working with the Chicago Tribune now, Jake. How's it going?
Going great. How about yourself?
Good. I like to see that you're getting with the newspapers there. I love your blog site, Bears Backer. So let's talk about the Bears tonight. This seems to be an easy one, Jake. This seems to be an easy game for the Bears, but I always get worried when it looks too easy. Can the Bears' offensive line stop the Giants' pass rush tonight?
I think they can. I mean, they had some tough matchups against pretty solid defensive lines the last 2 weeks, and the Lions, who had Sue, who was just a monster against the Bears, and last week against the Saints, where they racked up 3 sacks and forced a fumble early on in the game. This is a Giants pass rush that really hasn't been effective this year. They have 5 sacks on the entire season, which ranks 31st in the league, and I really don't see them getting to Cutler that much, rattling him like they did in that 2010 matchup where they sacked him 9 times in the first half and knocked him out due to a concussion. I think it's a different story. I think if the Bears can really establish the run early on, then they'll be able to protect themselves going forward.
What is the big difference between Jay Cutler this year and Jay Cutler last year?
Mark Trestman. I mean, that's really the reason. I mean, he really hasn't had, since he's come to Chicago, he hasn't had that guy to lean on. They tried to get Mike Tyson there last year. That didn't work out. He was more of a run guy. He wasn't a pass-first guy. Before that, they had Mike Martz, who had no clue how to use his weapons, and really, quite frankly, they didn't have the weapons for the offense that he wanted to use. And then his first couple of years with the Bears, Ron Turner, he wasn't the guy. So Mark Trestman has been the reason Jay Cutler has had this resurgence back to basically his Denver days, where he's been pretty confident in the pocket.
All right, we saw another emergence there for the Bears last week. We saw Alshon Jeffrey finally step up and be the guy that everybody was hoping he could be. Do you think that Jeffrey can keep this up, or was it just the fact that Marshall was getting double-teamed and Jeffrey had a good matchup?
I'm not going to lie, I really saw this coming. The guy had a bunch of good games last year, but unfortunately injuries took a toll on him early on, and he wasn't in the best of shape. He came in this year and he trained with Marshall in the offseason down here in Florida, and he trained really hard. Him and Marshall trained together, and I think that is a big reason. I mean, Marshall is getting double-teamed, maybe triple-teamed at times. We saw that last week. So that leaves Jeffrey open, but he's making the plays. I mean, he's in one-on-one coverage. He's making the plays. I don't think that he's going to have another 200-yard game. That was something that you don't really see much. Obviously, he set a franchise record with his 218 yards. But I think he's going to have a bunch of more big games, 100-yard games here and there, and he's going to be a red zone target for sure.
Now, we know that Brandon Marshall has a huge ego. Is Brandon Marshall going to be fed the ball tonight, or is he going to be okay with Jeffrey getting a lot of these targets?
That whole Brandon Marshall feud where he ran after the game, I mean, I think it had to do with just his frustration about losing. I don't think he really cares that much. And I know the media is really eyeing in and keying in on the fact that he only had 4 catches, but he did have a touchdown, that he wasn't targeted much. The big reason was he wasn't open. They took him out. The defense took him out of the game, and he's got to understand that there's a respect level in this league. And if Jeffrey's open, and that they're going to throw him the ball. But I think that since what happened last week, the Giants are going to be scared of Jeffrey, and with barely any healthy guys in the secondary, they're going to have a problem with both Jeffrey and Marshall at night.
What about Martellus Bennett, the old New York Giant? I mean, do you think is he expected to play tonight? Do you think we'll see him? And if he's out there, do you think he has got a chance to score against his old team?
Yeah, I think he'll play tonight. He's got a knee injury. He was limited the last 2 days in practice. Unfortunately, the injury was I don't know if you saw it against the Saints, it was kind of a play where he didn't really need to do what he did. He hurdled over a player and fell. I don't know if that was the play where he hurt his knee, but it's kind of a freak thing and kind of not really a smart play by him. But up to this point, he's been a great player for them, and he's been a big reason why his offense has been better than it was last year when they had Kellen Davis, who just wasn't the right guy in the offense.
Well, I never thought Martellus Bennett was a valedictorian of his high school class, but I do think he's a great athlete. All right, let me ask you about Matt Forte and Michael Bush. Fantasy owners are always looking for a guy who's going to score. Is Matt Forte is he getting goal line carries, or has he been replaced and Michael Bush is going to be the guy?
Matt Forte is getting more goal line carries than he did last year. Michael Bush really only had a couple goal line carries against Pittsburgh back in Week 3 where he did score. That was the only touchdown he's had to this point. They really haven't used Bush that much, but I expect tonight on a short week where pretty much every player is coming into this game bruised up, especially Forte, I think that they're going to use Bush a lot more, especially in goal line situations.
We're talking to Jake Purper here, who's the founder and head writer for Bears Backer. You can find him at chicagonow.com/BearsBacker. So, Jake, let's talk about the Bears defense. The New York Giants have really struggled this year. Eli has been a disaster. How can the Bears make Eli Manning's life miserable tonight?
Quite frankly, this is not the best matchup for the Bears. I know you said Eli Manning has struggled, but the Bears pass rush has only generated 7 sacks, which is only 2 more than the Giants. And the Giants defense has allowed 30-plus points in each game. I don't expect the Bears to allow 30-plus points tonight, but Eli Manning could find some success early on if his offensive line is able to protect him. But the question you asked, the Bears are going to need Julius Peppers to step up. That guy has been pretty invisible to this point. He has 1 sack and 1 defensive touchdown, and the middle of the defensive line is pretty depleted without Henry Milton, Nate Collins, and maybe tonight Stephen Paeta with his turf toe.
All right. So what about Charles Tillman taking on a Victor Cruz? What about and Jennings? Tim Jennings doesn't seem to be that same guy as he was last year. What's going on in the Bears secondary?
The big reason why Tim Jennings, that he might appear to be not the same player, is the safeties. The safeties haven't been that great this year. They've been out of position. Major Ray, Chris Conte, 2 very young players still at this point in their NFL careers. Wright misses tackles often, and Conte's just all over the place in the secondary. Tillman's been banged up with groin and knee injuries. He played every snap last week and actually had a pretty solid game, but you didn't really see him do much. Jennings just can't cover number 1 receiver, so I don't really expect Jennings to be on Cruz that much because of his speed. I think that Tillman is going to match up with Nix a little bit, but I think that he'll be more on Cruz because of his speed.
What about the Bears against tight ends? You know, when Urlacher was there was no better guy who covered a tight end. Now, Brandon Myers is a guy that the Giants use. Do the Bears have any linebacker who can cover a tight end well?
Yeah, Lance Briggs has done a pretty solid job at covering tight ends. It's a new thing for him. He's been calling the defensive snaps this year to play, and I think he's done a pretty good job. I mean, last week he had 14 tackles, really contributed. And the big reason why the defense doesn't look as good as last year, it's not Urlacher. Urlacher was slowing down and clearly was not the same player that he was. I give him credit for covering the tight ends like he did in the past, but the last couple of years he was slowly progressing. And even if they had him this year, it would be the same story. The pass rush has been just non-existent at times for the Bears, and Julius Peppers, like I said, has to step up. Shane McClellan in his second year, he's a guy that's going to be looked upon to really step up. But there's a story there's a guy that I want to bring up. This guy named David Bass. He's a rookie. He only had 13 snaps last week, but I expect him to actually make his presence known here tonight.
All right, Jake, last question for you. Answer me this question. The Bears will win tonight if?
The Bears will win tonight if they can establish some kind of offense in the first half. They need to get scores on the board early, and they need to just put this game away because the Giants, quite frankly, are not a good team.
There you go. Jake Purper from Chicago Now, Bears/Bears Backer. Appreciate you being on, Jake. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right. That was Jake Purper doing his Bears bit. And you know what? The Bears are looking pretty good. I think Mark Trestman has been one of the great high